Today, we will be talking about Megan Fox's anxiety hack and how you can use it too for your benefit. So, recently, Megan Fox was on the Kelly Clarkson Show, and she shared with all of us that she has a fear of flying and that the way that she knows how to help herself is to play one of the old Britney Spears songs. And she kind of jokingly and singingly said that it's because she doesn't believe that she can possibly die listening to that kind of music. That's not the soundtrack to one's death. And so, as funny as this is, it's actually a really clever hack because there's a few things here that we're going to discuss, and then I'm going to show you how you can use this and create your own little clever hack that's very similar to hers. Let's deconstruct the belief system in play here. So there are two beliefs here that are important. The first one is a negative belief. This is her fear or anxiety. And the belief is, I might die in an airplane. The second belief, and this is a positive one, is, I will not die listening to a Britney Spears song or similar type of music, right? Like bubbly pop. This second positive belief counteracts the first negative belief, which is why it works for her. Would this work for you? Would this work for anyone? Well, no, because not everybody who's afraid of flying has the second positive belief that they can't possibly die listening to a Britney Spears song or a similar kind of music. In fact, for me, this would probably not work because my rational mind would just say, you know what, I bet a lot of people died in like car accidents listening to pop music, and I am sure that some of them were listening to Britney Spears. So that would not work for me. So the takeaway here is not to use her exact positive belief. This is her belief. This is what she believes. It's not necessarily logical, but most of our beliefs are not logical. So we just have to find something that works for us. You just have to find something that counteracts your negative belief. You can do the same thing. You can, when you're anxious or fearful, you can just ask yourself, what would make me feel better? And look for different options. And within those options, you will find a nugget, something there that's very similar, that is a kind of counteracting belief, like I don't think that I will die at a certain time. I know that I'm not going to die a certain way. I know I'm not going to die at in a certain month, or if I'm with this particular person, I know I'm not going to die because nothing bad ever happens to them. It could be so many different things. You just kind of have to search your mind and find something. Now, I want to talk about the ideal option. The ideal option here to combat your anxiety, your fear, would actually be to change the first negative belief system. So, for example, with Megan Fox, her negative belief is, I might die in an airplane. That's what you actually want to work on changing. That may not be something that you can do when you are anxious, when you are in that situation, like in an airplane. But when you get home, you want to work on changing this negative belief. How do you do that? The way you do that is you simply, first of all, remind yourself that you're the creator of your reality, right? Those of us who are creators, who believe in law of attraction, who believe that we are able to create our life. So first you remind yourself of that, and then you ask yourself, what would I prefer? What is my ideal? And for a lot of people, in terms of death, for example, you will find that your ideal death is typically dying of old age, surrounded by loving family and friends. And so you start affirming that and also visualizing, imagining that scene in your mind, right? The scene of you, of your preferred death, whatever it is. I don't want to tell you what your preferred death is, because it's completely up to you. It's up to your heart, right? How you want to die. But for a lot of people, it's just it's being old and being very healthy up to that point, and then very kind of painlessly drifting off to sleep. So you just visualize that. And when the old fear comes back, you keep reminding yourself, no, I'm the creator of my reality. And my new belief is that I will die of old age, in my case, in my like 500, 600s, 800s, or thousands, right? That's how long, that's the belief that I'm training myself personally, that I will die, that I will live for hundreds of years. You don't have to do this. Maybe to you it's not logical. It's not something that you believe is possible. That's fine. But you can think about your preference and imagine that. So that's the very best way to deal with fears and anxieties. One more tip that I want to talk to you about is the element of distraction. This is a part of what really works for Megan, because she is distracting herself when she's anxious with music. And so this is always something that you can use when you're fearful. You can always, it can be very helpful to distract yourself, especially in situations where there's really nothing that you can do. You know, like when you're on an airplane, you're just a passenger. So if something goes wrong with the airplane, unless you have a lot of knowledge when it comes to piloting the airplane and mechanical engineering and all these different things, unless you have that knowledge, chances are you're not going to be able to do anything, right? So you're like a sitting duck. There's nothing you can do. So you might as well distract yourself. Now, Megan distracts herself with music. Something that I recommend, you guys know I love movies and TV shows. I think that even better than music are movies and TV shows. And the reason for that is because movies and TV shows not only have music and a soundtrack to the movie, but there's actually a story that you get to kind of get into and completely forget the outside world even exists. You know, something I want to share with you guys is when I was on two separate occasions, when I was in my teens and early 20s, I had different family members, my mother and my grandmother, different occasions, uh, tell me after a movie finished, very angrily, why were you not paying attention to me? I was yelling at you to go come finish some chore. And I was completely like, what? I didn't hear you. And they didn't believe me because they were like, I was standing next to you, basically yelling at you. I was so into whatever I was watching. I was so in it that apparently, like, my mother or my grandmother stood next to me yelling at me, and I didn't hear them because I was so into whatever I was watching. And this, by the way, if you're into law of attraction, is also it happens, you know, the explanation of it is because I was in a totally different vibration. I was enjoying myself. I was, you know, thinking about what I'm watching, and my angry parent or grandparent was in a totally different vibration, a very angry and you know, all of that stuff vibration. So we actually didn't match. This is very an interesting part about law of attraction that a lot of people don't know, because people assume that just because somebody is in the same physical space, that there's like that you can't be in separate realities and separate vibrations, and you totally can. And I know that I have proven that to myself because of these situations where it just didn't make sense, but I totally didn't hear somebody yelling at me, and there was nothing wrong with my, you know, hearing or anything like that. So long story short, when you watch a movie or a TV show, you could get so into it that you don't even, I mean, all kinds of things might be happening with the airplane, turbulence of all kinds, and you're going like, I can't believe that, you know, did Elena just kiss Damon? You know. Hi, the Vampire Diaries fans. So distraction is very, very powerful, and you use it. I mean, use it. If you're in a situation where you just don't know what else to do, just somehow just distract yourself, okay? Last thing I want to add, you guys, is in my, as you know, some of you know, and some of you are new to my channel, I have created a personal development methodology called movie-based counseling, in which I teach people how to create their best selves and their preferred reality through their favorite movies and TV shows. So if that interests you, if you think it sounds cool, I have a free video series on my website. So check out moviebasedcounseling.com. And I will see you there. And if not, I will see you in the next video. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, thumbs up, please, and subscribe to my channel. I will, if there's more celebrities that have said something that you want analyzed in terms of belief systems or law of attraction, let me know and I will make a YouTube video on it. I think it's going to be fun. Bye, guys.